Alright, welcome guys. I know I'm a little late today, my PC was being weird, so I had to start half hour later, which is not ideal, but I guess we're gonna have to deal with it, I guess. So, we are gonna be reading some more of Modazushi, and continuing with that, and hopefully getting to chapter 9, I wish. Chapter 4, which, what is the chapter called? Because we're on, sorry about that, we're on chapter 3, which is the Prideful, and then chapter 4 is called The Elegant Flirt. So, I already know why it's called that. But yeah. Hello there, Vishesh. Welcome to the stream. My voice is a bit odd at the moment. 1 second, guys. Okay. Let's hope that my voice will gradually get better as we go along, because I don't know what else to say. And at the same time, I'm trying to play Star Rail at the same time. Oh, good heavens. Oh, alright. Oh, I'm just hitting the book, because why not? Alright. I never get off Star Rail. People are like, what do you play? I'm like, Star Rail. Actually, I'm gonna put that in real quick because I need to tie this because it's gonna get my nerve cells. So let's tie with that. Alright. Ginger tea for the sore throat. I wish I had ginger tea. I only have water right next to me. And I see you've changed your goddamn name. I'm still gonna call you Vishesh, no matter what you change it to. Oh, good heavens. Get Acheron on that one. Oh, shite. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, get Acheron on that team. And who is messaging me? Don't message me while I'm streaming. Okay. It's fine. She can auto, because she's OP. Okay. I don't remember where we left off. Let me have a little skim through. I think we're on this page. I'm not quite sure. I think we are. Okay. I won't be able to see if my stream goes off because I'll be looking below, so if it does go off, then I'm gonna have to restart the stream. We got away from his dog. Okay, I think we're at the part where Wei Wuxian has met his nephew called Jin Ling. I keep on forgetting the characters' names. I'm thinking of different characters in different series and stuff. His nephew is Jin Ling. He's met his brother, or adoptive brother, Zheng Zheng, and I think they went to Dafan Mountain to see a statue in a cave or something, and Wei Wuxian has found out some mysterious things, and he's going to look up there so that he can protect Jinling and the other cultivators. And yeah, I think he brought the donkey with him. I think. I'm just gonna do this real quick because I do want to level this thing up. Okay, that's a lot of those. That's good because I need all of that. I'm that much addicted to Star Rail. Even though I can't hit the sound, it's fine. Okay, I can do that one, that's maxed out now. Now I can do that one. And that one's almost finished. I think I've started 2.2 now on my main account, which is good. I saw boot heel. Anyway, okay, so here we go. These rural villagers, instead of making a concerted effort on their own when there's trouble, all they do is pray to the divine. There are thousands of millions of people in the world, and the deities can barely take care of themselves, so why would they care about them? That's true, because for one, heaven officials' blessing, there are heavenly officials and gods and stuff, and sometimes even gods can't take care of themselves. Like Xilian, you have Xi Jingxuan. So yeah, that's a very, very true statement. I forgot where it was. Okay. Besides, it's just some nameless rogue deity. If it's so efficacious, I've never heard of that one, then can I wish for the man-eating spirits on Mount Dafan to appear right now in front of me, and have that wish be granted? A group of cultivators from small clans followed behind him, and at his words they immediately agreed, laughing uproariously. The once silent shrine grew noisy and crowded all of a sudden with the impouring of people. Gods need a god. Lan Sizui shook his head quietly and turned around, his eyes unconsciously sweeping past the face of the heavenly maid. The visible but indistinctive features seemed to be compassionate. I can't use this hand. Smiling face, but he felt an indescribable sense of familiarity with this smiling face, as if he had seen it somewhere before. Where in the world had he seen it before? Lan Sidri felt this was something important. He unconsciously approached the altar, wanting to examine the face of the heavenly maiden in greater detail. Right then, I can't speak. Right then, someone suddenly bumped into him. A cultivator who had been standing behind him suddenly collapsed noisily. The others were greatly alarmed, and everyone instantly raised their guard. Jinling demanded cautiously, "What's wrong with him?" Lan Sidri bent down with his sword in hand to check it. Okay. Lan Sidri bent down with his sword in hand to check. The cultivator was breathing fine, as if he had merely fallen asleep all of a sudden, but he wouldn't wake no matter how he was slapped or called to. Lan Sidri stood up. This is like... But before he could finish, the cave that had been dark was suddenly alight. Red light filled like a cataract of blood washing down the walls. I don't know what a cataract is. Oh god, my voice. Oh no, 1 second. Oh god, this is going to become an issue, isn't it? Oh god, my voice is like really croaky today. And it's also raining as well. That's not great. The candles on the altar, and in the corners... Oh god, no, my voice, no. Okay. I think it's just because I'm dehydrated, maybe. Because when I had the water, it was fine. You should be... You sure you should be sweet though? Here's hoping. Not a good day to read, oh god. What the fuck was I? What was on this page? The candles on the altar and in the corners of the stone cave all began to burn on their own. I actually think that it's just like phlegm in my throat or something, or I don't know. Maybe it's just my dry throat or something. Clangs resounded in the cave as those who had swords unsheathed them and those who had talismans pulled them out. Right then, someone outside the shrine suddenly rushed inside and splashed the Heavenly Maiden statue with its guard of medicinal wine. The stone cave was instantly flooded with the thick, choking smell of alcohol. The newcomer took out a talisman and slashed it through the air, hurling it towards the statue. Where was I? The altar was immediately set ablaze, illuminating the cave with the brightness of day. Wei Wuxian tossed aside the Chankun bag he'd picked up, having used up everything that was inside of it. He shouted, Okay. Everyone get out! Watch out for that soul-eaten Heavenly Maiden! Someone cried out in alarm. The Heavenly Maiden's changed pose! Dun dun dun! And that's the end of the stream, guys! Woo! Hope you enjoyed the cliffhanger, way! Like, yeah, it's time to end the stream, bye! Oh, god, that's funny. Gotta love cliffhangers, though. I love slamming those goddamn doors. Where was I? The divine statue had clearly had both arms raised earlier, one arm pointing to the sky and one foot lifted, her form graceful. Yet in that moment, amidst the vibrant reds and yellows of the blazing fire, it had dropped both arms and legs. This was absolutely the truth and not a trick of the eye. In the next second, this divine statue raised one of its legs and stepped out of the flames. Wei Wuxian yelled, "Run! Run! Run! Stop hacking at it! It's useless!" Most of the cultivators paid him no mind. The soul-eating monster they'd been all over for had finally appeared, so how could they let it go? However, even though there was so many spiritual swords attacking, so many talismans being thrown, and if I can get the page, and many other spiritual devices wavering about, none of them stopped the statue from moving. It was nearly 3 meters high, and when it moved, it was like a towering giant, exceedingly imposing. He picked up 2 cultivators and raised them to its face. Its stone mouth seemed to open and close, and those 2 cultivators' swords dropped to the ground with a clang. Their heads bowed. Obviously, they just had their souls sucked out. None of the attacks were effective. Finally willing to listen to Wei Wuxian, the others swarmed out of the cave, fleeing for their lives in all directions. With so many people and so many faces, the higher Wei Wuxian's anxiety climbed, the harder it was for him to find Jinling. He rode the donkey out, searching as he dashed into a bamboo grove. When he looked back, he encountered the Lan Juniors, who were also in flight. Wei Wuxian called after them. "Children! Who are you calling children?" Lan Jingyi protested. "Do you know whose house we're from? Do you think you're our elder just because you washed your face?" Okay, good go. Wei Wuxian frequencies, I don't know how to say that word, set off a signal. Call over that Hangonjun from your clan. The juniors nodded and searched their pockets as they ran. A moment later, Lan Sidgwi admitted aloud. The signal flares were all used up that night at the Mo estate. Wei Wuxian was shocked. You guys didn't restock? The signal flare was rarely ever used, maybe once every 800 years. Lan Sidgwi replied, feeling ashamed. We forgot. How could you forget? Wei Wuxian tried to scare them. If your Hangunjun finds out, you'll all be sorry. Lan Jingyi turned ashamed-faced. Oh no, we'll be punished to death by Hangunjun this time. Good, rightly deserved. You won't remember without punishment. Did my phone just vibrate? Yes, it did. Why is he... Oh, of course I have a fucking thing. Oh, I have the weirdest friends. Lovely. Morganze, how did you know that the creature eating souls wasn't a fiend or a beast, but that heavenly maiden statue? Lan Sidgwi asked. Wei Wuxian searched for signs of Jinling as he ran. How did I know? I saw. Lan Jingyi caught up, and the two sandwiched him, one running on his left and one to his right. What did you see? We saw plenty too. You saw, and then? What's around the old graveyard? What else is there? Souls of the dead? Exactly. Souls of the dead. So it couldn't be a soul-eating beast or fiend. That's obvious. If it were either of those things, then would it leave all those dead souls floating around and not eat them up? No. This time there was more than one asking questions. Why is that? I gotta say, you lands of Gosu. Wei Wuxian couldn't resist anymore. Can you focus less on memorizing cultivator etiquette, clan origin history, and all that stinking long-winded nonsense? And teach more practical things instead? What's there not to understand? Souls of the dead are easier to absorb than souls of the living. The flesh of the living is like a protective screen, so in order to devour souls of the living, this screen must be removed. Just like... He took a glance at the spotted donkey that was panting and rolling its eyes back as it ran. Just like this. If there's an apple in front of you and another apple locked in a box, which one would you eat first? Of course, the one in front of you. That creature only devoured souls of the living, and it has a very particular way of doing so, which means it's super picky and quite powerful too. Lan Jingyi was shocked. Is that how it is? That makes a lot of sense, I think. Wait, so you're not actually crazy? Lan Sidgwi explained as he ran. We all thought the landslide and lightning striking the coffins was how the lost souls came about, so naturally, we thought it would be a soul-eating fiend. I like how he says that, so you're not actually crazy. Of course he's not. Maybe Mo was, but Wei Wuxian isn't. Wrong, Wei Wuxian said. What's wrong? The order is wrong, and the cause is wrong. Let me ask you, between the landslide and the soul-eating business, which came first, and which came after? Which is the cause, and which is the consequence? Lan Sidgwi replied without hesitation. The landslide happened first. The soul-eating came after. The former is the case. The latter is the consequence. Completely wrong, Wei Wuxian explained. Isn't it crazy? Just a ghost? A ghost from the past. Ooh. The soul eating came first, and the landslide after. The soul eating was the cause, and the landslide was the consequence. The night of the landslide there was a sudden thunderstorm, and lightning struck open a coffin. Remember that? The first to lose his soul, that deadbeat, was trapped on the mountain for a night, then got married a few days later. What's wrong with that? Lan Jingyi asked. Everything, Wei Wuxian replied. An idle, penniless, good for nothing. Where did he get the money to host such a grand wedding? The boys couldn't answer. It was no wonder the land clan of Gusu had never been a family that needed to consider the question of wealth and poverty. Everyone else is more fucking richer than Wei Wuxian, but not for long. Wei Wuxian doesn't need to pay anything in his life. Wei Wuxian continued, have you seen all the souls of the dead floating around Mount Dafan? There's an old man who was killed by a brutal strike to the head. The craftsmanship and material of his funeral garb were both exceptional. To wear such an extravagant funeral garb, there was no way his coffin was empty. There must have been some accompanying funerary items to keep his spirit at peace. I don't know what these words even mean. Okay. Items to keep his peace. That coffin was struck open by lightning was probably what? The coffin that was struck open by lightning was probably his. The people who came to collect the corpse didn't discover any funerary items, so they must have been taken by that deadbeat, which would explain his sudden wealth. The deadbeat suddenly became rich and got married after the night of the landslide, so something strange must have happened that night. It was storming, and he was hiding from the rain in the mountains. Where on Mount Dafan is there shelter from the rain? The shrine of the Heavenly Maiden. And usually when people visit a shrine, they always do one thing. Make a wish. Lan Zidrui said. Correct. For example, he might ask to get lucky, hit his rich, have the money to get married or something. The Heavenly Maiden fulfilled his wish and sent forth lightning that struck open the graves, showing him the wealth within the coffins. His wish was granted, and as its price the Heavenly Maiden descended on his wedding night and sucked out his soul. You're just guessing, right? Lan Jingyi said. Yes, but if we pursued this train of thought, then everything can be explained, Wei Wuxian replied. How do you explain Miss Ayan? Lan Zidrui asked. Good question, Wei Wuxian said. You must have asked around too before you ascended the mountain. Ayan had only just gotten engaged at that time. Every young girl who's just been betrothed must have the same wish. Lan Jingyi didn't quite get it. What wish? Nothing more than I hope my husband will love and cherish me for the rest of his life. That he'll only love me, or some such, Wei Wuxian said. Need to have a dictionary website open. That's true. Okay, so this basically means that Wei Wuxian has basically figured everything out. Basically, the landslide came after the soul-eating thing, I think. And the deadbeat went to the mountain, asked the Heavenly Maiden to see if he can get rich. There was a lightning strike on the coffin. He gets rich. He gets married. On his wedding night, he gets killed because the soul-eating fiend, or whatever it is, absorbs his soul. And now he's explaining everything about that girl that survived, but obviously is now gone insane. The youths were confused. Can a wish like that be granted? Wei Wuxian shrugged. It's easy. As long as her husband's life ended soon after, then wouldn't he have loved only her for his entire life? Understanding dawned on Lan Jingyi, and he exclaimed in excitement, "Oh? Oh! So after Miss Ayan became engaged, her husband was killed by a jackal in the mountains the very next day. And it's very possibly because Miss Ayan went and made a wish at the shrine of the Heavenly Maiden." Wei Wuxian struck the iron while it was hot. Whether it was a jackal or something else that killed him, it's hard to say. Ayan had another point of interest. Of all the victims, why is she the only one whose soul had returned? How is she different from the others? The difference is that she has a family member who also lost his soul. In other words, there was a family member who replaced her. Blacksmith Zheng, Ayan's father, loved his daughter, so when he saw that his daughter had lost her soul and no medication was working... Oh no, my fucking voice again. I'm gonna drink some in a second. And no medication was working. Under such dire circumstances, what was the only thing he could do? Lan Sidri answered quickly this time. He could only place his last hope in the heavens, so he also went to the shrine of Heavenly Maiden to make a wish. The wish was, "I hope my daughter Ayan's soul will return." Wei Wuxian commented him. That's why only Ayan's soul returned, and the reason why the third person to lose his soul was Blacksmith Zheng. And although Ayan's soul was back out, it couldn't escape being damaged. Once the soul returned to its rightful place, Ayan unconsciously began to imitate the dancing pose of the Heavenly Maiden, including the smile. The commonality between those who had lost their souls was clear. They had most likely all made a wish before the Heavenly Maiden statue, and the price for those wishes to come true was their souls. So basically, with the woman, she wanted her husband to only love her for the rest of his life, so he made a wish to the statue, which was granted. And then when they got married, he went on to a hunt or something, or he went away for a little while, and he got killed by either a jackal or by a spirit or the soul eating, and he's now dead. His soul was taken. Actually, was it the other way around? No, I'm thinking of it differently. He died by a jackal or something else entirely, but her soul was taken because she made the wish in the first place at the altar. And then, because her soul had gone, her father came to the altar again and asked to see if her soul could be returned. So hers is returned, but very damaged, but her father's is taken instead. That's basically the gist of it. So we also have the deadbeats story, and we also have her story as well. So yeah, we have 3 people that souls has been taken. So we have the deadbeat, the girl, and her father, basically. I'm gonna drink some water before I continue. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it so far. A soul for a soul. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay. The Heavenly Maiden statue had once been an ordinary rock, but it just so happened to resemble a person, so it had received centuries of worship that led it to gaining spiritual power. However, its greed was insatiable. One single deviant whim gave it a mind to expedite the elevation of its spiritual powers by way of consuming souls, offering the fulfillment of a wish in exchange for the devouring of a soul. It operated on the same terms as those wishmakers who offered their own souls up to be devoured. It was a fair trade, by all appearances. Whenever I can't read. Everyone got what they wanted, which was why the needle of the compass of ill winds did not move, and the spirit attraction flag summoned nothing. The treasured swords and talismans were all ineffective because the creature on Mount Dafan wasn't some nefarious being, but instead a god. This was a rogue god, raised up by centuries of worship, so to use devices made of attacking malicious spirits against it was the equivalent of attempting to extinguish fire with fire. Lan Jingyi exclaimed loudly, "Wait, just now inside the shrine, someone else got their soul sucked out too, but we didn't hear his wish." Wei Wuxian's heart leapt, and he halted in his steps. Someone had their soul sucked inside the shrine? Tell me every detail of what happened there without leaving out a single thing. Okay, now, for the explanation of this, because of the two people that got their souls absorbed inside the shrine when everyone was running out, the reason is because Jinling asked the shrine for the soul-eating thing to reveal itself in front of them, and it did. So now it's consumed souls. That's the reason why. Lan Sijui quickly gave a clear account. When Wei Wuxian heard Jinling had said, "If it's so efficacious, then can I wish for the man-eating spirit on Mount Dafan to appear right now in front of me and have that wish be granted?" He exclaimed aloud. "Is that not a wish? That was making a wish?" The others who had agreed with Jinling were tactically understood. What? What the fuck is that word? Were tacitly understood. I don't even know what tacitly even means. To have made the same wish. Since the soul-eating heavenly maiden was right before them at the moment, the wish had already come true. So, what followed had been a collection of payment owed. All of a sudden, the spotted donkey came to a stop and started running in the opposite direction. Caught off guard, Wei Wuxian was once again thrown off its back, but he stubbornly grabbed onto the reins. However, from ahead of them in the shrubbery there came the crunching and slurping sound of something being eaten. An incomparably gigantic figure was hidden in the bushes, its massive head moving back and forth over the abdomen of a person on the ground. Ugh. Oh god. When it heard an approaching noise, its head shot up, meeting their eyes. The soul-eating heavenly maiden's facial features had originally been unclear. The shapes of the eyes, nose, ears, and mouth rough, but after she'd devoured so many cultivators in one go, her 5 features were now distinct. It was now the face of a smiling woman. Copious blood dripped from her bottom lip as she gnawed vigorously upon the arm dangling from her mouth. This is one difference between the anime and the manga, or the donghua and the manhwa, is that the novel is a lot more in detail and a lot more gruesome when it comes to these types of like scenes. So yes, we have all of the sex scenes, the juicy bits and stuff, but we also get as much detail as possible when it comes to the gruesome stuff as well. So, compared to the donghua and the manhwa, they don't have this. They don't have all the gory stuff with the blood dripping and everything, and the heavenly made eating people. It doesn't do that. in the manhwa and the donghua. Yeah, this is gory. And that's the only one of the differences between the novel and those. I don't think it even happens in the live show, so. Everyone immediately followed the spotted donkey and bolted in the opposite direction. Lansidri cried despairingly, "That's not right! The yelling patriarch said the high-level ones only ate souls and only the low-level ones ate flesh." Oh, the yelling patriarch. He knows about the yelling patriarch. The yelling patriarch was right in front of you, Sidri. I'm not going to spoil everything for Lansidri. It's funny to see though, because I know the entire story. Okay, never mind. Okay. Wei Wuxian replied helplessly, "What are you blindly believing in him for?" Oh god. Anything he came up with was utter bullshit. None of the rules are absolute. Just take her for a baby. When she didn't have teeth, she only ate gruel and soup. She could only eat gruel and soup, but now she's grown up, she wants to eat meat. Her spiritual powers just shot up, of course. She'll want to try something new. The soul-eating heavenly maiden stood up and was big and tall, and she moved all four of her limbs as she danced crazily, seeming jubilant. Suddenly, a piercing arrow came flying through the air and caught her right in the forehead. The arrowhead penetrating through to the back of her head. Having heard the strum of the bowstring, Wei Wuxian gazed at where the sound came from. Jinling stood upon a tall hill nearby, already knocking the second arrow into his bow and drawing the string. He let go and another arrow pierced through her head, its impact so powerful that it forced the soul-eating heavenly maiden to stumble back. Lansidri yelled, "Jingongzi, set off your signal flare!" Jinling ignored him, determined to bring down this monster. He's very stubborn. Just like his bloody uncle. Or, well, his many uncles. The soul-eating heavenly maiden wasn't upset in the least. Despite having been shot in the head twice, a smile still graced her face as she charged toward Jinling. Although she danced as she went, her speed was still terrifyingly fast, and half the distance was covered in an instant. Several cultivators popped out from the sides to fight her, impeding her from moving farther. Every single arrow Jinling shot hit the mark, and he fired non-stop. It seemed as though he'd made up his mind to empty his quiver before going near the soul-eating heavenly maiden for close-range combat. His hands were steady and his aim was precise, but unfortunately, no spiritual devices would work on her. Zhengsheng and Lan Wangji were both waiting for news in Fujiao town. Who knew if they would notice anything amiss and rush over? You needed water to extinguish fire. If spiritual devices wouldn't work, then how about demonic tricks? Wei Wuxian pulled out the sword hanging on Lansidri's waist, cut down a piece of thin bamboo, and swiftly made a flute. He placed it on his lips and sucked in a deep breath. A sharp flute note pierced through the night sky like a whistling arrow, shooting straight for the clouds. Oh, we're getting onto a good part here. And it's one of the reasons why Lan Wangji knows in the future why he knows that it's actually Wei Wuxian in Mo's body. So, so this person right here, Mo. Oh god, what is this not doing? Okay, this person right here is Mo, or at least it's his body. Wei Wuxian is in his body, but no one knows that it's Wei Wuxian. But when this scene all comes to an end, Lan Wangji will find out that it's actually Wei Wuxian in his body. And I don't think he tells him. I think he just finds out in the end. I'm not quite sure. I keep on forgetting. But, yeah. It's going to be an interesting scene. I do love this scene. Plus, the song that he plays. Oh, so good. I forgot where it was. Right, here we go. Oh. He shouldn't have done this unless it was absolutely necessary. But with things as they are, he no longer cared about what summoned, and as long as it was murderous enough and vengeful enough, as long as it could rip apart the soul-eating heavenly maiden, it was good enough. And who is summoned, I wonder? We'll find out in the future. We'll find out in the next episode. Lan Sidri was completely dumbfounded. Lan Jingyi, however, covered his ears and cried in dismay. What are you doing playing a flute at this time like this? It sounds horrible. One of the group of cultivators engaged in fighting the soul-eating heavenly maiden. Several had already had their souls sucked away. Jinling drew his sword. He was less than 6 meters away from the soul-eating heavenly maiden, and his heart was pounding, hot blood surging to his brain. I forgot where it was. To his brain. If I don't take her head in one swing, then I will die here. If I die, I die. Just then, clinking and clanking sounds resounded within the forest of Mount Dafan. Ooh, who could it be? You guys won't know who this is yet, so this is gonna be fun. Clink, clank, clink, clank. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow. The noise came haltingly and reverberated in the deathly silent forest. It sounded like iron chains hitting each other, dragging on the ground. It was coming closer and closer, louder and louder. For some reason, this sound was oppressively threatening. Even the soul-eating heavenly maiden stopped her dance, her arms raised in the air as she stared blankly at the deep darkness from whence the sound came. Wei Wuxian put away the flute and stared intently in the same direction. Although the ominous feeling was growing stronger and stronger, since this creature was willing to answer his summons, then at least it was one that would obey him. The noise came to a sudden stop, and a silhouette materialized from the darkness. After seeing the figure and its face clearly, many of the cultivators' faces contorted. What? After seeing the figure and its face clearly, many of the cultivators' faces contorted. Even when facing the soul-eating heavenly maiden, who could suck away their soul at any time, they never shrank back, nor did they show any sign of fear. However, the sound of their screams was now filled with unconcealable terror. The Ghost General! It's the Ghost General! It's Wen Ning! Like the Yiling Patriarch, the one known by the moniker Ghost General was infamous and widely known by all, and the two usually appeared together. There was only one man whom that name referred to, the number 1 fierce corpse under the control of the Yiling Patriarch Wei Ming, the one who aided his tyrannical rule, fanning the flames of chaos, helping the villain in his evil, and cause havoc in the world. Wen Ning. Wen Ning's head was slightly bowed, and his hands drooped by his sides like a marionette waiting for the orders from his puppeteer. His face was pale and delicate, and as a matter of fact, he had a certain easy and somewhat melancholy handsomeness. However, there was no pupils in his eyes, only a field of deathly white. With this, plus the numerous black cracks crawling up his neck to his cheeks, that melancholia was transformed into a terrifying gloom. The hems of his long robes and sleeves were tattering and fraying, revealing wrists the same ghastly white as his face. A pair of iron shackles and chains were locked over them. Same were the ankles, and clinking and clanking. And when he wait, what? The clinking and clanking sound was created while he was dragging himself along, and when he stopped, everything returned to a deathly silence once more. It wasn't hard to imagine why the cultivators present were all terrified. Wei Wuxian wasn't any calmer than the others, and the tempestuous waves in his heart had already surged past his head. It wasn't that Wen Ning shouldn't have shown up here, but rather he shouldn't have appeared in this world at all. He should have been killed and reduced to ashes long before the seat of the burial mounds. Just for a little insight, Wen Ning was like friends and partners with the Yiling Patriarch, which was Wei Wuxian back in the day, and he worked with him and protected him and did whatever Wei Wuxian asked in his evil era. Well, I wouldn't really say that it's an evil era, honestly, because his actions were justified in my opinion. But to other people it was an evil era for him. But yeah, these two do know each other, and the fact that he's shocked that he came is because he thought that he died. Well, technically he did die, but like fully died, like burnt to ashes died. But there are secrets even Wei Wuxian doesn't know yet. Dun dun dun! Come back next week, guys! Goodbye! I love doing that. For some reason, I'm such a child. Okay, next part. Why am I such a child? I don't get it. I don't even remember where I was. I don't even remember. I'm gonna have a quick drink before I continue on. I'm literally such a child, guys, honestly. I didn't have childhood. Holy shit, we're only an hour into this. What the fuck? So burnt to ashes, you can't ever come back. Basically, yeah, unless someone does a sacrificial summoning, like what happened with Mo and Wei Wuxian. Basically, even if they're dead, their soul is still in the, like, the underworld or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. And if you do a sacrificial ritual, their soul can replace your own soul in the body, just like it did with Wei Wuxian and Mo. So the person on the screen, he did a sacrificial ritual to bring Wei Wuxian's soul into his own body, but replaced it so he no longer exists. And it's the same thing with like any kind of dead person. If they do a spiritual ritual thing to sacrifice themselves or sacrifice their own soul to be replaced by someone else's, they can do that. But if not, then the dead will stay dead. Well, I say that, but Wei Wuxian controls the dead, so yeah. It's not like the dead don't have the souls anymore, but if the bodies are still intact, Wei Wuxian can still use their bodies and like a smidge of what they used to be to control them using demonic energy. So that's one of the reasons why Wei Wuxian was so feared among different clan members and stuff, because he could control the dead and do whatever he wanted just by using his demonic cultivation, using the flute, and also he had Wen Ning as well, so not only could he control the dead, but he also could control Wen Ning as well. So, yeah. Body is needed like a vessel. Kind of, yeah. It's like Orochimaru and Sasuke. Orochimaru wanted to have Sasuke as his vessel, So basically killing himself and putting himself into Sasuke and replacing him. It's kind of like that from in Naruto. But instead of using it on a living person, it's on a dead person. Okay. I don't remember where I was. How long until we get to the next... Oh, not that much. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, that's winning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 more pages and we're at the next chapter, which is crazy. Because the next chapter is going to be fun. I'm just going to pop to the loo real quick. If you guys need to also do so, then by all means do so. I think the water has definitely gone to me. But yeah, I'll be back in a moment, guys. BRB. Alright. Where was we? Okay. I don't even remember where I was at. Stop it. Ah, here we are. When Jinling heard the other say Wen Ning's name, the sword he was pointing at the soul-eating heavenly maiden unconsciously changed directions. Taking advantage of him being distracted, the soul-eating heavenly maiden reached out her long arm in delight and picked him up. Seeing how she had already opened her mouth wide and was nearing Jinling's face, Wei Wuxian no longer had time for his own shock. He raised the bamboo flute once more, and his hands were trembling slightly, and the melody he played quivered with him. On top of that, because of how crudely made the flute was, the sound could almost be said to be raspy and awful. 2 notes were played, and Wen Ning began to move. He's basically controlling him with the flute, basically, using the demonic energy that he has. In the blink of an eye, he shifted and appeared before the soul-eating heavenly maiden. Wen Ning struck out with his palm, and the soul-eating heavenly maiden's neck made a cracking sound. Her body didn't move, but the slap turned her head all the way around. Her face was now facing the same direction as her back, and still that smile remained. Wen Ning struck again, barehanded and cleanly chopped off the soul-eating heavenly maid's right hand, which held Jinling in its clutches. She looked down at the wrist that had been cut so cleanly. She didn't twist her own head back to the correct position, but instead turned so her face and her back were facing Wen Ning. Wei Wuxian didn't dare slack off. He took a deep breath and bowed his head, directing Wen Ning to face battle. However, it wasn't long before he began to feel more and more appreciative. Low-level walking corpses could not think for themselves and required his orders as guidance. Even fierce corpses stronger in attack were often confused and with no consciousness of their own. Wen Ning was different. He'd been refined by Wei Wuxian, and it wouldn't have been a lie to say that he was the strongest fierce corpse in the world, one of a kind. He could think, he could ponder. Other than his lack of care for injuries, or for fire, cold, poison, and anything the living might fear, he was no different from the living. But the Wen Ning in this moment clearly had no consciousness of his own. So basically, he's kind of like a living person at this point. A voice, oh my god. He kind of was like a living person, but he didn't really have his consciousness at that point. He will in the future, so we will get to meet Wen Ning properly. And obviously we'll meet Wen Ning from the past, which obviously will uncover things with Yiling Patriarch and how Wei Wuxian became the evil among all different clans and stuff, and all sorts. So, yeah, it's gonna be quite interesting. Just as he was feeling bewildered by this, alarmed cries suddenly sounded from the field. It turned out Wen Ning had beaten down the soul-eaten heavenly maiden, firmly pinning her on the ground, before picking up a boulder taller than a man, raising it over the soul-eating heavenly maiden, and heavily bludgeoning her with it? I don't know what that even means. The powerful blow struck the soul-eating heavenly maiden's body like lightning, forcibly crushing her into pieces. Amidst the white debris of rocks strewn about, a glowing white pearl rolled forth. This was the core formed by the dozens of souls and soul-eating heavenly maiden had devoured, and if collected and carefully managed, the people whose souls had been devoured earlier could still be restored. However, no one had the the mind to pick up that pearl at that moment. All the swords that had been previously pointed at the soul-eating heavenly maiden earlier had all now turned Wen Ning's way. One of the cultivators shouted at the top of his lungs, "Surround him!" Okay. On this particular page, well, the page before what I was just reading, there is a picture of Wen Ning with all the chains and stuff, and him looking like he's the Ghost General and all that. And yeah, this basically looked like Wen Ning. Actually, can I actually pull up a picture of Wei Ming? Ignore the fact that next door is making weird sound effects. Oh, I can't even spell. Google Images. Wen Ning. No worries, Vishesh. Can I save this? Oh, that's a thing. Can I get this one instead? No, I can't. What would be a good picture for him then? That's in the game. I can't wait until the game comes out. Where would be a good picture to do showcase? Why is it a file like that? Oh, and there's a picture of them too, kissing. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna use this. So let me move this and let me do that. Let's do that. Let's see if that does anything. I'm just gonna put this on my desktop and then I'll delete it later. So if I do that, and then image. What's the date today? The 22nd of the 5th? So it should be this one. There we go. So this guy is Wei Ming. Or the Wei Ming in the future anyway, not Wei Ming in the past. But yeah. Okay. Alright. Some answered hesitantly, but there was more who were wavering, and some slowly backing away. The cultivators shouted again. Fellow cultivators, stop him and don't let him escape. It's Wei Ming we're talking about here. Top left guy looks badass. Yeah, that's Wei Ming. His words roused the crowd, as if a mere soul-eating monster could be compared to the Ghost General. Although it was unknown why he had come, killing 1,000 soul-eating fiends could not compare to capturing one single Wei Ming. After all, with a bite harder and more fearsome than his bark, this was the most obedient mad dog of the Yearling Patriarchs. He's not Mad Dog. Catching him would make one's name soar across the cultivation world. The only reason they had rushed to attend the night hunt up at Mount Dafan in the first place had been to fight over nefarious creatures and gain experience. So it couldn't be helped that there were those who stirred at this thought. However, the older cultivators who had personally witnessed the madness of Wei Ming in the past didn't dare to move recklessly, and so that man shouted again. What are you all afraid of? It's not like the Yearling Patriarch is here. That was true. When they thought about it, yeah. What was there to be afraid of? Wei Ming's master had already been shredded to pieces. Not. With those words, the swords circling around Wei Ming abruptly closed in. With a swing of his arm, the heavy black chains swept the circle, knocking all the flying swords away. Then he stepped forward, seized the neck of the person closest to him, and lifted him easily off the ground. Wei Wuxian knew the melody he had played earlier was too urgent, too aggressive, and it had exacerbated Wei Ming's ferocity. I can't speak. He had to be neutralized, his emotions calmed, and so Wei Wuxian confidently played another tune. This tune, guys, is what makes Lan Wangji know for absolute definite that this is Wei Wuxian. And we'll find out later on why it's so important that he absolutely found out that it was Wei Wuxian, and there was no doubt about it. Because this song was only played one time, and Wei Wuxian was the only person that someone played it to. So that's when he found out he was Wei Wuxian, 100% without no doubt. So let's carry on. Where was I? I don't even remember. This melody was one that came to his mind naturally, gently and tranquil, a significant contrast to the strange, sharp sound from before. Wei Ming froze at the sound, then slowly turned towards where the flute was calling to him. Wei Wuxian remained still, meeting those pupilless eyes. A moment later, Wei Ming let go, and the cultivator fell to the ground. He dropped both his arms and walked step by step toward Wei Wuxian. His head was hung low as he dragged his chains across the ground, appearing somewhat dejected. Wei Wuxian backed away as he played the flute, luring him over, and they walked for a while like this, retreating into the forest. Suddenly he smelled the refreshing scent of sandalwood. Ooh! Here we go, guys! Without no doubt. He backed into someone, and felt a sharp pain around his wrist. The sound of the flute abruptly stopped with it. Oh no. Wei Wuxian thought. When he turned around and looked, he was met squarely with Lam Wangji's eyes. Ugh. Their colour was so light. The man's gaze appeared frozen. Not good. Lam Wangji had personally witnessed him play the flute to control corpses in the past. Lam Wangji had Wei Wuxian firmly gripped in one hand, and Wen Ning stood woodenly not 6 meters away from them. He looked around sluggishly as if searching for the sound of the flute that had vanished so suddenly. In the forest nearby, firelight and voices began to grow. Wei Wuxian's mind spun rapidly, and he came to a decision right there. So what if he's seen it before? There are millions out there who know how to play a flute, and the number of people who try to learn the Yiling Laozu's ways of controlling corpses with flutes could form an entire sect on their own. I'll deny everything, even if it kills me. It's not the flute that is making Lam Wangji suspicious of you being Wei Wuxian. It's the actual sounds that were played and the music that was played through the flute itself. He resolutely ignored the hand gripping him, raised his arms, and continued playing the flute. This time he played even more urgently, as if reprimanding his breath unsteadily. The notes cracking, shrieking and sharp. He suddenly felt Lam Wangji's grip harder. His grip was going to snap from the force. His wrist was going to snap from the force. Unable to withstand the pain, Wei Wuxian's fingers slackened, and the bamboo flute fell to the ground. Thankfully, his orders were clear enough, and Wen Ning retreated rapidly, delving soundlessly into the hauntingly dark forest in an instant and vanishing without a trace. Wei Wuxian was afraid Lan Wangji would give chase to kill Wen Ning, so he reversed the hold and seized him back. Yet unexpectedly, Lan Wangji's eyes were locked firmly on him. Ooh. And he'd never spared a single look Wen Ning's way. The two stood there, thus clutching each other, face to face as they stared at one another. Ugh, I love these two. It was then that Zhang Chang arrived. He had forced himself to wait patiently for the conclusion of the hunt of Fuzhou town. Yet he hadn't even finished a cup of tea before a sect disciple came rushing down the mountain in a panic, telling of the terrible and brutal creature of Mount Dafan. Greatly shaken, he charged back up the mountain, shouting, "Ailing!" Jinling had almost had his soul sucked away earlier, but he was safe and well now, and all in one piece. Juju! Seeing that nothing had happened to Jinling, Zhang Cheng was greatly relieved. However, that relief soon turned into a ferocious reprimand. Do you not have a single flare on you? Don't you know to set one off when you run into those creatures? What are you pretending to be strong for? Get the hell over here. Jinling was angry at not having captured the soul-eating heavenly maiden as well, and he yelled back, "Weren't you the one who said I had to capture it at any cost? Then I couldn't go back to you until I caught it." Zhang Cheng really wanted to slap this stinging brat back to his mother's womb, but he had indeed said those things, and he couldn't possibly eat his own words. He could only turn to the cultivators who had collapsed all over the ground and demand of them mockingly. So what is it, exactly, that had pulverized you, all in such an honourable state? Among the cultivators dressed in a myriad of colours were a number of disciples from the Zhang clan of Yunmeng in disguise, secretly assisting Jinling under Zhang Chang's orders in the event he couldn't win this challenge. Truly, as the elder, he had gone through great pains regarding this outing. One of the cultivators was still in a state of shock. Sect leader. It was Wen Ning. Zhang Chang thought he might have heard wrong. What did you say? Wen Ning's back, that man said. In that split second, a mixture of shock, hatred, fury, and disbelief all assailed Zhang Chang's face. It took a while before he replied, coldly. That creature was already reduced to ashes as a warning to all. How could he come back? It was really Wen Ning, the disciple exclaimed. There was definitely no mistake. I definitely wasn't mistaken. He suddenly pointed over. He was the one who summoned him. Wei Wuxian was still at a standstill with Lan Wangji, but in an instant he became the focus of attention of everyone present. Zhang Chang's lightning cold eyes also slowly gazed in his direction. A moment later, Zhang Chang's lips pulled into a twisted smile. His left hand subconsciously began stroking that ring once more. He said softly, "Excellent. Back, are you?" He let go of his left hand, and a long whip dangled from it. The whip was extremely thin, just as the name Zidian implied. It was a long purple current of lightning, crackling like the dark thunder that crawled through stormy skies. He firmly gripped one end in his hand. When he brandished it, it was as if he had struck out with an incomparably swift thunderbolt. Wei Wuxian hadn't yet made a move, but Lan Wangji had already taken out his guqin. Steadfast, as he plucked the string like a rock in a river, rousing ripples, the sound undulated in the air. It clashed against the purple lightning, concealing the attack. All previous considerations Zhang Chang had of not recklessly All previous considerations Zhang Chang had of not recklessly engaging in a fight and not making enemies of the Lan went out the window. That night, in the skies above Mount Dafan's forests, there were at times bursts of purple light. At other times, it was bright as day. There were at times the crashes of thunder, and at times the long wails of the guqin. The rest of the cultivators quickly retreated to a safe distance to watch from afar, scared witless but unable to move their eyes away. After all, it was rare to have the chance to see two distinguished cultivation leaders from prominent clans clash in combat, and they couldn't help but hope the fight turned out even more aggressive and more intense. He's hoping the whip isn't used for it well. Unfortunately, Zhang Chang won't ever get a fucking partner because he's an idiot. Plus, I feel like Zhang Chang is more, he's more interested in the past than the present time. He's more interested in what Wei Wuxian did in the past and what he did to him than he is with what's happening right now. Ouch. Motherfucker. There was a certain current of unspeakable anticipation as they hoped the Lan and Zhang clans really would fall out. Things would be more interesting then. And over on the other side, Wei Wuxian found his chance and bolted. Everyone was astonished. Hadn't the whip been missing him because Lan Wangji had been blocking it for him? Was he not seeking his own death by running away? Running off now? I can't speak. Sure enough, it was as if Zhang Chang had grown eyes on his back. The moment he saw Wei Wuxian break out of Lan Wangji's area of protection, there was no way he'd miss such a good opportunity. He raised the whip and swung. The purple lightning swam forth like a vicious dragon, striking him right in the heart of his back. Wei Wuxian was almost sent flying by the whip's impact, but unfortunately... Wait, what? But fortunately, the spotted donkey blocked him before he crashed directly into a tree. However, when the strike hit, both Lan Wangji and Zhang Chang stopped in their tracks, dumbfounded. Wei Wuxian rubbed at the small of his back and crawled to his feet with the support of the donkey, then hid behind it while he yelled. Wow, must be nice coming from such a powerful clan, eh? Beating whoever you want? Lan Wangji commented, with nothing. Zhang Chang also commented, with nothing. ... basically. When I say nothing, it's basically in quotation marks, ... so I'm just saying nothing, just for now. Shocked and outraged, Zhang Chang commented further. What's going on? Zidian held a strange power. If used against an individual who was possessed, the body and the interloping soul would be separated, and said soul would be cast out of the flesh by the purple lightning without exception. However, this man was still behaving and moving as normal after being whipped, lively and well. There was no other explanation aside from the conclusion that he was not possessed. Wei Wuxian, however, thought, duh, of course Zidian can't whip my soul out. I'm not possessed. I was offered a body. Forcibly offered a body. Zhang Cheng appeared shocked and confused, and was about to whip him again when Lan Jingyi protested. Sect Leader Zhang, isn't that enough? That's Zidian you're using. There's no such thing as an initial blunder that required a second attempt for a spiritual device on the level of Zidian. If a soul wasn't whipped out, then it was not whipped out. If the man wasn't possessed, then he was not possessed. Otherwise, it wouldn't live up to its name. That shout forced Zhang Cheng, who cherished his reputation, to cease his assault. But if it wasn't Wei Wuxian, who else could summon Wen Ning? Zhang Cheng couldn't accept it, no matter how he thought about it, and he pointed at Wei Wuxian with a dark face. Oh god. Who exactly are you? Just then, a nosy onlooker finally interrupted. He cleared his throat. That's the same thing with me. Sect Leader Zhang, you might not be aware of this because you don't pay attention to such matters, but this Mo Shanyu is that Jin clan of landlings. He is a former sect disciple of the Jin clan, but because his spiritual power was weak and he wasn't serious in his training, in addition to that harassment of his peers, he was kicked out of the Jin clan of Lanling. There was also talk that he'd gone crazy. In my opinion, he was probably indignant at having failed in cultivating the orthodox path, and so he deviated. He might not be possessed by the Yiling Patriarch. That harassment? What harassment? Zhang Cheng demanded. How many pages are left? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. I think we'll get... Actually, we've got a half hour left, so... I'm just going to pop to the loo again because, for some reason, the water's going straight through me. So I'll be back shortly and we'll continue on. Alright. Actually, I need to get a drink before that. This stream entails of me reading, drinking, and going to the loo. It's great. Absolutely great. I'm only drinking because my bloody throat keeps on drying up and making weird sounds. Okay. Oh, this is one of the reasons why I don't like this type of world, and I'm glad that, well, you still have it, but like, in this world, being gay and, well, being a cut sleeve, as they say, is a bad thing. Which it is not. And they don't know that Lan1G is also a cut sleeve, so if they want to chat shit about being a cut sleeve, they can go to the Lan clan of Gorsu and outright have it with him. Because he ain't gonna chat no shit. Oh god. Hydration stream with occasional reading. Oh god. Here we go. That kind of harassment, you know? Someone couldn't hold back and said, "A cut sleeve!" Zhang Chang's brows twitched. The look he gave Wei Wuxian was even more disgusted now. There was more to it, but no one dared say so in front of Zhang Chang's face. While his reputation wasn't great, it had been admitted that before the Yiling patriarch Wei Wuxian had defected from the Zheng clan of Yunmeng, he had been well known to be a handsome man and a sophisticated gentleman, well versed in the 6 arts. He had been ranked 4th in looks. Wait, what? He was? Holy shit. Charming and cheerfully handsome, the people had called him, and this hot-tempered sect leader Zhang had happened to be ranked 5th. Wait. So 4th was Wei Wuxian and 5th was his brother? That's funny. Oh, that's funny. He was below his brother. Oh, that's funny. Oh god. Okay. Oh no, my voice. Hydration for the nation, everyone. I can't even fucking pick up the book properly. Where was it? I don't even remember. And his hot-tempered sect leader Zhang had happened to be ranked 5th, defeated by 1 rank, so no one dared raise the subject with him. Wei Ying was frivolous and a flirt, and he loved ambiguously gallivanting about with beautiful women. Who knew how many lady cultivators had fallen victim to his rotten charms, and yet there was never any word of him liking men. Well, not yet anyway. Or a specific one. Even if he were to possess another in order to avenge himself, based on Wei Ying's taste, he would never pick a gay, donkey-riding lunatic with his face painted like a hanged ghost. Someone else grumbled. They're not alike, no matter how you look at them. They are alike. Like, honestly, guys, when he doesn't have the face paint, wait, is there like a picture to showcase the comparison between Mo and Wei Wuxian? There has to be. Google images. Who's streaming? Oh, it's just us. Okay. Wei Ying and Mo Sanyu. Comparing them, we need a good comparison. Where is the comparison gone? There was one that I looked at before. Was this one it? I don't know. What in the world? What is it doing? Oh no. Oh no, that's for the... Never mind. I swear there has to be a comparison. Wait, I need to type in comparison. Comparison. Because I swear they look alike. Is this one similar? Gotta love my PC not working. Oh no, I don't want the fucking hairstyles. God damn it. And my PC is slowly dying. I'm gonna refresh the page, see if it does anything. Show more results. Oh. There was. Oh, I loved that scene. Oh my god. PC needs hydration. I think that would destroy it. Oh, that scene was so good. I can't wait until we get to that point. Oh, I really want to do like reactions to the anime now. God damn it. Oh my god, I love that meme. Lol. Oh. Okay. Fuck's sake, I want to have like a similarity, like picture between both of them. Oh no, that's definitely not safe for work. No, don't fucking put that photo on. That's relevant. That's not even fucking Mother Zushi. God damn it, there is no fucking thing for it. What about that? Oh, I need to look at that fucking shit. Okay, So, I'm just gonna get the pictures individually, I believe. I'm just gonna get them individually. Because it seems like, for some reason, I can't find any pictures of them next to each other, which I know that there is pictures of them. I just don't know where they are. So, I'm gonna get them individually. Okay, so first, we're gonna have Wei Ming in Mo's body. If I can save that. I need to find... Well, we already have a picture of Mo on the screen. And... Wait, isn't this a picture of both of them? Wait. Come on, have a clearer picture. I want a clearer picture of them. Give me the clearer picture. Oh, come on. Give me a good picture. Can I not open in any tab? What if I do that? Can I get the picture? Oh, I can't even get it from here. Are you kidding? This is the page where it was at. God damn it. What is the best picture then? Wait. Yes! I found a good picture! Finally! Okay, new. I know, like, it's like different ages of him, but it's what it is. We're not showing the chibi or the child version of him because that's not, yeah. We're not gonna go into that one. I'm gonna save that. Okay, that should now be fine. No filters on Google. Let's see if I can pop up an image. Where would it be? Here it is. I'll take it away from the chat in a second, but this is what they look like. So the first picture at the top is when he was a teenager, probably like 15-ish. And then the second picture is when he was like 21. That was when he was known as the demonic cultivator, known as the Yiling Patriarch, or the Yiling Laozu. He died at 21 or 22. And the last picture is him as Mo in his body, and obviously on the left side we have the picture of Mo here. So yeah, they look exactly alike, obviously with age and shit, but yeah. Do you guys see like the similarity between them? How could they say that they don't look similar at all when they look almost alike? Plus the clothing as well. Like, even though Mo was from the Jin clan, instead of wearing like yellow and white and stuff, he was wearing red and black. I don't know if that was intended because of Wei Wuxian or whatever, but in this instance they look extremely alike. Copyright wants you to find the difference between these three pictures. They are the same picture. Exactly! Exactly! They are the exact same! They look exactly the same. Obviously, like, the age differences and stuff like that is different in each picture, but they are literally alike. Like, the top photo and the bottom photo, they look exactly alike, except from, like, the age difference. So at the top, he was 15-ish. The middle one, he was, like, 21, 22 when he died. And then the bottom one was when he was reincarnated from Mo Xianyu's body, which is on the left side, into the right side, where he changed his appearance a little bit so that he could look like himself. Maybe the eyes are different? The eyes are the same, and the same colour. They're the exact same colour, I believe. I think. At a stretch. Different hairstyles. Oh god. They look exactly alike, so that's why I thought, what the fuck, when they said that. Oh god. I need to take all these pictures off the screen. Actually, we'll keep that one on because, like, how can we not keep that one on? Where the fuck is the book? Oh, there it is. I don't know why I put it over there for. Okay. We'll probably get to chapter 4. And then we'll call it a stream, and then we will do the what is it called? The Prideful Flirt? No, the Elegant Flirt in the next stream. I don't even remember where I was. They're not alike, no matter how you look at them. That's wrong. And that flute was played so awfully. You can't even learn that right. It's nothing but crude imitation. Upon the battlefield, back during the Sunshot campaign, the sound of Yiling Patriarch's flute had pierced through the lasting night, and his ghost soldiers and ghost generals had been like an invincible army of millions, cutting down all who stood in their way. That flute was said to be like divine music, so how could it be compared to the sad moan horribly played by the abandoned son of the Jin clan? Even if Wei Wuxian was an awful character, there wasn't that wasn't how comparisons should be drawn. It was simply too insulting. Really. Wei Wuxian felt a little woeful. Why don't you try not practicing for a dozen years, then make a crappy flute from some chopped sticks and play the tune? I'll kneel if you can play it well. Wei Wuxian. Oh god, I love him. His sarcasm is so good. I love Wei Wuxian, he's so funny. Oh man, but to be fair, he has a point though, because like, it's been 13 years since he got reincarnated, so learning how to play the flute after 13 years using a crappy flute, it'll sound pretty bad, but, you know. Zhang Zhang had determined this man to be Wei Wuxian earlier, and the cold blood in his veins boiled, but now the Zidian in his hand was clearly telling him that no, it wasn't him. Zidian would never lie to him, nor would it ever make mistakes. He quickly calmed down to contemplate. This wasn't a big deal. He would find an excuse to take the man back with him, then use every means possible to beat a confession out of him. Something would be spilled. There was no fear regarding that. He refused to believe the man would give nothing away. In any event, it wasn't like he hadn't done similar things before. Having come to this conclusion, he gave a hand signal. The disciples understood and approached in a circle. Wei Wuxian quickly led his donkey and hopped behind Wei Wuxian's back. Wei Wuxian's back? Lan Wangji's back, clutching his heart and gasping. Ah, what are you going to do to me? Lan Wangji cast him a glance, tolerant of his incredibly rude, noisy, and exaggerated antics. Zhang Zhang saw he had no intention of moving aside and said, Lana Gonzu, are you trying to make things difficult for me on purpose? Everyone in the cultivation world knew that this young clan leader of the Zhang's family had developed a near-crazy obsession with taking precautions against Wei Wuxian, and that he would rather catch the wrong person than let anyone go. Anyone that was even remotely suspected of being possessed by Wei Wuxian would be taken back to the Zhang clan of Wei Ming to undergo brutal torture. If he elected to apprehend someone and bring them back, they would be certain to lose half their life. Lan Sijui spoke up. Said Leader Zhang, the truth is before us. Mo Gongzi is not possessed, so why must you trouble an insignificant individual? The Zhang Chang said coldly, then I wonder why Lana Gongzi has been so determined to shield this insignificant individual since earlier. Wei Wuxian suddenly snorted and chuckled. Hey, Sect Leader Zhang, he said. It's troublesome that you keep clinging to me like this. Zhang Chang's brow twitched, instinctively sensing this person wasn't about to say anything pleasant. He wasn't. He's such a flirt. Wei Wuxian continued. Your kindness is too much, thank you, but you're also overthinking things. Even if I like men, I don't like all men, and I definitely don't just go home with any man who waves at me. I'm not interested in your type. What a fucking... Oh. Wei Wuxian was trying to disgust him on purpose. Zhang Chang hated losing, no matter how nonsensical the competition. If someone were to say he wasn't as good as so-and-so, he'd be so angry that he'd stop eating and drinking until he'd thought of a way to win against them. Sure enough, Zhang Chang's face darkened. Oh? Then please enlighten me. What is your type? What's my type? Wei Wuxian replied. I quite like Tang Gonjin's type. Of course you do. Lan Wangji, on the other hand, could never tolerate such frivolous and senseless jokes. Once he grew disgusted, he would definitely draw the line and keep his distance on his own. Disgusting both of them would be like killing two birds with one stone. Yet, unexpectedly, when Lan Wangji heard him, he turned around. As you say, he said expressionlessly. Wei Wuxian said. Lan Wangji looked back. Without breaching etiquette, but allowing no room for discussion, he stated, I am taking this person back to the Lan clan. Wei Wuxian was briefly speechless. Huh? Dun dun dun! We are now at chapter 4, which is known as The Elegant Flirt. And by God, I am so excited for it. How many chapters are in this book? I don't even remember. Oh, that scene. There are 7 chapters. So we are exactly halfway through the book, technically. Oh my god, that's insane, guys. And how far does this book go? I mean, how long does this chapter go? Actually, let me look at that picture. Oh, wait, is that... That's Lan Wangji, that's Lan Xichen, Lan Jingyi, and Lan Sijui with Wei Wuxian and the donkey. Oh my god, that's so cute. That's a cute picture. And then there's this one. Oh, I can't spoil that one. I can't spoil it. I can't spoil it. It's so cool. It's so cute. It's so wholesome. I love it. Oh, I can't wait for that one. Okay, well, we're gonna leave that on a cliffhanger. Oh, God. I'm gonna leave it as it may and wait for next week for chapter 4, where we're gonna have some juicy bits. Oh, God. But yeah. So what we've witnessed today is the whole story and like how it came to be that more people got their souls taken away from them, with like the deadbeat who got their soul taken away, the girl who got their soul took away and came back because of her father who has now got their soul taken away, we know that Jinling was very determined to get the maiden thing, because Zhang Cheng said that if he captured it or whatever, then yeah, and then if he didn't, then he couldn't go back to him and all that. I'll wear headphones for the next one. Oh god. And then things were getting out of hand, and then Wei Wuxian called Wen Ning. Well, he didn't intentionally call Wen Ning. Wen Ning is now alive still. He now finds that out. Wen Ning tries to attack the maiden. The maiden goes down. Everyone turns against Wen Ning. And then the famous music was played by Wei Wuxian on the flute, and Lan Wangji found out that it is actually Wei Wuxian. Everyone now thinks that he's a shameless cut sleeve who flirts with anyone, but then he also has standards about not going with Zhang Cheng. The whip that Zhang Cheng has didn't work because he isn't possessed. He's actually forcibly had the body himself. But he continues to have his doubts about him not being Wei Wuxian. But Lan Wangji definitely knows for an absolute fact that it's actually Wei Wuxian, and we'll find out in the future why he thinks this, and what happens in the past to make him know in the future that it's actually Wei Wuxian. And now that Wei Wuxian has actually said that he likes Lantern, he's taking him back to his home. So in the next stream, we're gonna go back to Goso Langclan, and we're gonna have some spicy things happen. Some shameless things, and Wei Wuxian is confused. So I hope we will have a great experience with everything, have some laughter, have some interesting scenes being unfolded, and continuing on with a certain mystery about the arm that people have been trying to defeat, I guess. But yeah, that'll leave it for today, and next week we will continue on with chapter 4. Like I've mentioned previously on my Twitter, my streams, and on my Discord server, I will be doing, or hopefully going to do a teaser for my 2.0 debut model. It's not rigged yet, I'm just drawing it. They're gonna be oh god. I'm just drawing the final touches now. The hair is the most annoying part, because I need to do the back and the back and the front, sorry. So it's a little bit difficult for me because it's my first time ever drawing a person and facial features, clothing, and hair and stuff like that, so please bear with me. If it doesn't look as good, then I'm sorry, but I'm trying my best, and I'm not good at drawing in the slightest, so I'm hoping that this turns out okay. And that should be done by later this week, so we should have a little teaser, not a full reveal, not until the 2.0 debut. We should have a little bit of a teaser at the end of this week, and hopefully you guys like it. And yeah, that'll be pretty interesting to see. Fingers were easy to draw. No. I basically use like a template for that, to be fair. But I'm gonna put a lot more detail into my character model, like, once I finish drawing the hair and shit like that. Because I'm using kind of like the same hair, honestly. I'm using kind of like the same hair, but I want to have some toggles and stuff that I need to do later on. But, yeah. Tomorrow, what should we stream? To be fair, I want to continue with the 2.1 update for Honkai Star Rail, to be fair. And I do want to get Topaz on her Lycone, so I may do Honkai Star Rail. As always. As if you are half as good as drawing as you are with your humming good hands. Oh god. I like humming the songs from in Honkai Star Rail because they're so good. They made a great like job doing the stuff on Honkai Star Rail. But we shall see, and hopefully you guys like it. If not, I apologize. I try my best. I've never drawn a person before. I've drawn like little images and pictures of like mundane objects, but like never people. So I'm hoping it will go okay. I need to sort out the eyes though. The eyes look really weird on my screen, so yeah. But yeah, like I said, later this week having a teaser, and see what happens, and yeah, go from there. But we are finished for today's stream, and tomorrow we'll be streaming some Honkai Star Rail again, or if not, then I'll probably think of something tomorrow on what I should do, and then I'll just post it out and stuff like that. But yeah, that'll be the end of this stream, guys. Hopefully you have had a great stream, and hopefully you'll have a great day. And yeah, I will see you guys for tomorrow's daily stream, 11 AM GMT. I was like half hour late today, but I apologise. Googly eyes. No googly eyes. Very venomous eyes, I would say. Like, they're very... well, they're very specific, I guess. But yeah. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Vishesh, for stopping by. I appreciate you. And we will do another stream tomorrow. So, I will leave you all to have the good rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Until then, I think that's it. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning. See you later, everyone. Venomous, yeah, venomous. Alright, I will see you later, Vishesh. Thank you for stopping by, and I've disappeared. Oh no, I've come back. I will see you later. Bye, everyone.